Hello, One Tiger Nation. It's Coach Flanagan here on a Tuesday afternoon after the end of a basketball season. Just wanted to take a minute and pass out some thank yous and reflect a little bit on what was an amazing season here for the Olney Tiger Basketball program. A 26-0 regular season, finish up at 27-1 with a tough loss to Marion, one possession game in the regional on Saturday night after beating Effingham in the semis. We'd love to be playing in the sectional tomorrow against East St. Louis, but we knew it was going to be a tough road. One of the things I think about this team that I think people from afar probably, and maybe even people that are close to it, don't really even understand, is just how much respect we have for the game and how we prepared night after night, no matter who we played, to give them our very best effort. And knowing that we did that throughout every regular season game, through a Capital Classic Championship, a Duster Thomas Hoops Classic Championship, a Little Illini Conference Tournament Championship, and a Little Illini Conference Regular Season Championship. We did no different in the regional. We, due to cancellations and so forth, our kids had to battle through an 11-day layoff. We gutted one out against Effingham, who had played us tough earlier in the year, and then just came up one possession short in a game against a very good, well-coached Marion team. We knew that going in that those games would be tough games. So no different than during the year, we were just as prepared and just as ready. Unfortunately, we came up one possession short. But I do want to take a minute and just sincerely thank some people, and I'd start with our players. An incredible group of guys that were willing to put the time in day after day, and guys that handled everything really that was thrown at them, and that includes until the very last game. Certainly our seniors, Brooks Julian, Alec Coker, Drew Blank, and the great Chase Travis will be missed, and we look forward to our other guys coming back and being accepting the torch, as we always say in Tiger basketball, holding that torch high and working to build on the many successes that we had this year. Also like to thank the coaches, a staff that I don't think could be put together any better. Coach Mahaffey is our freshman coach, Coach Kimmel as our JV coach, Coach Brown and Coach Franklin as our kind of catch-all, do a little bit of everything guys, and then myself. It seems to have been a really, really great combination that our kids have really been able to respond to, and we feel like we work really well together. Those two groups of people, as a head coach, you're nothing without those guys. I'd also like to thank One Tiger Nation. I think sharing it with your school and your community, and for our players, their peers, that support them in the stands, both kids and adults. We treated it as an honor. We respect those fans, and we want them at the game, influencing the game. They're a part of our team, and it was amazing to watch the support. Certainly as the season grew, everybody always uses the line, everybody loves a winner. But I think when you're winning, my philosophy has always been, hey, jump on board, the more the merrier. And then hopefully those same people from time to time, if we struggle through a stretch, will also understand how hard we work and the good times that we've provided them with, like we had this year, and will be there for us and kind of pull us through. So we felt it was a really good marriage. From the dress-up nights, the Pep Club with Anna and Anna Blank and Chase Travis as the presidents were amazing all year long. And then the kids who really got into what we were doing, it was an honor to play for you guys. And my thing with kids I'd always say to guys at school during the day, or gals at school, hey, personal invitation to come to the game tonight, Tigers versus Effingham, or Tigers versus Newton, or whatever. And I really meant that. It was a personal invitation to want you there in our corner. We had a guy come in, Steve Jones, to talk about a book called The Twin Thieves. And one of the things he talked about in wars was that the people fighting weren't always fighting because they hated the person on the other side. They were fighting for the person beside them, or the people that were back home behind them. And I felt like that really hit home with me for what we were doing with Tiger Basketball this year. We're trying to beat the other guy and win the war, but we were playing for the guy right next to you, and we were certainly playing for our fans and our families and all the people that supported us. And I'd segue right into that next. A big thank you to all of our families, from the team meals to all the stuff, the washing of the practice gear, the washing of the uniforms, just have the support and having us ready, to go. I know the kids' parents did a lot of things, and I know my family did a ton of things, for us and for me personally. And that's something that I think we're all very thankful for, and would just like to say a big thank you to all of our families for allowing us, it's a long season, allowing us the time to do our thing in something that's important to all of us. Also like to thank our administrators, in particular, Coach Matt Music. He puts the student athlete first in his job as AD, and his support, the support of Andy Julian, Chris Simpson, those guys, allows us to get our kids in a position to have nice things, and then certainly to demand from them, and we think that's been a pretty important part of what we do. So a big thank you to them. Would also like to kind of go back a little bit and thank some people who were a part of our locker room project. What an amazing place for us to work in, a historical place. But we'd just like to thank Samantha Brazil, who designed it, helped me design it, Danny King and Kevin Blank from Meager Sign and Graphics, who were big in a lot of the graphics that were within the locker room, Pat Everett, who did everything for us, from putting up lockers to putting down carpet, Color Your World, who did a really good job in the restroom area with the floor and so forth. I think our district custodial and maintenance staff, just for always kind of being there when we needed them. Brian Cummins and his construction class, we built a wall in our locker room, and they were really good with that. A big thank you to Stacy Jones, who helped refurbish the Tiger out in the lobby. She did an amazing job, and we plan on, there may be some other things around here where we use her, and then we go to work on the lobby a little bit, which is kind of our next project. I'd like to thank a lot of the people that donated. We raised a ton of money to refurbish this locker room, and I think it was a big boost to our kids as we went through the year, to know that you were in arguably the nicest locker room in the state of Illinois. But our alumni, who were very generous, who had a lot of great memories of Tiger basketball, no matter what era they played in, or what teams they were on, how good or bad the teams were, we're all Tigers. And for those guys to reach in their pockets, and gals reach in their pockets and donate like they did, it just let us do a lot of really great things. And I think for me it was great to connect with the alumni, guys maybe that I knew had played for Coach Heron, and that I knew and had heard about, but to now become friends with them through this was it was an honor for me. And you know, our donors that are in the lockers, I feel like when you walk in our locker room and walk in Alumni Hall, it's goosebumps. And that's what I wanted. And then, you know, going all the way back to the alumni game, you know, the first people really to dress in this locker room were the guys from the alumni game that played in it in, I think it was early November. And I couldn't think of a better group of guys to christen it and dress in it the first time than those guys. And I couldn't think of a better team to, you know, to christen it than the team that we had this year. So we just wanted to take a minute and thank everybody for all of the support and the backing that we had this year. And you know, it was an amazing winter in Olney with basketball. We wish it could have gone on longer, but it certainly wasn't for lack of effort and lack of preparation and lack of planning. And I hope people understand that and know that. And we've always worked on 4 things from the first year that I got here: desire, cooperation, effort, and attitude. And I think we put those on display every day. I think we're very well respected, I hope anyway, and we want to continue to try to put forth a really, really good product that's a real positive thing for our school and for our community and certainly for our team. Go Tigers.